Poverty has been a problem which Cambodia has been struggling with for over 3 decades. Whilst the country has made great progress in recent years, it is estimated that around 25% of the population is currently living in poverty, and 18% are living under the food poverty line. This means that in a country of 14 million people, 2.5 million do not earn enough money to feed themselves or their families. Low family incomes and the high price of produce mean that a balanced diet is simply out of reach for many Cambodians. As a result, almost 40% of children suffer from malnutrition and micronutrient deficiencies. The most prevalent of these problems being a lack of protein, vitamin A, and iron deficiency. It becomes harder for children to lead a healthy and successful life, as they will often have learning difficulties or physical illnesses which can hamper their ability to work later on in life. So the big question is, how do we help these children and their families? We know that Cambodians desperately need a regular source of protein, vitamin A, and iron in their diet, and most importantly, they need to be able to afford it. So what food is low in cost, but high in protein, nutrients, and is highly accessible? Eggs. Chicken eggs are packed with protein and vitamins including vitamins A, B12, folate, thiamine, phosphorus, iron, and zinc. Eggs currently cost around 4,500 reals for a dozen eggs, which on average equates to about 6% of a family's monthly income. While this may not sound like much, if an average Australian were to spend 6% of their monthly income on 12 eggs, the eggs will cost $265. So practically, buying eggs is simply not an option for many Cambodians. Currently, the diet of most Cambodians primarily consists of rice and vegetables, with animal products accounting for only 1/10 of caloric intake. What we know is that small-scale poultry farming is already very common, particularly in rural areas. In fact, more than half of all Cambodian households keep poultry in small numbers, usually under 10 birds. But the big question is, if so many people already keep poultry, then why are eggs and chicken not a significant part of their diet? This discrepancy is mainly due to ineffective farming practices resulting from either poor education or the high associated costs of maintenance. The ineffective methods result in low egg production and high bird mortality, meaning that there is not enough food produced to significantly improve their diets. This is where we step in. Our plan is to provide education on effective, low-cost poultry farming practices to families living in rural villages in Cambodia. We lend families breeding hens, coupled with the knowledge and resources to build their own coops. It all starts by finding a disadvantaged rural Cambodian village in need of aid. Once identified, local and international volunteers will set up camp in the village. These volunteers will bring with them live chickens, resources for building coops, and most importantly, extensive knowledge on poultry farming. Any family or person can take part, but they must first prove their commitment by growing feed crops for the chickens. Once they have done this, they will sign a thumbprint contract, which outlines the rules of the program. Then the work can begin. To give each family a kickstart in their chicken farm, the volunteers will loan them 10 chickens and a rooster. They will be shown how to build an effective coop, how to keep the chickens safe from predators, prevent disease, how to breed them, and also what to feed them. Once the family has successfully bred the chickens, any chicks become the property of the family. However, the initial loan birds must be returned to the volunteers. The family should now have enough chicks and knowledge to start their own flock. The volunteers will get their birds back too, meaning that they can now assist another family in the same way. But what exactly will we be teaching them? We have identified the two biggest barriers to successful poultry production as disease and the high price of feed. Disease has the ability to wipe out huge numbers of birds in a very short period of time and can often be difficult to control. Vaccinations are an effective way of preventing disease-related mortality, but the ongoing price which comes with it makes it unfeasible for many Cambodians. Instead, our program will teach low-cost methods of prevention and harm minimisation. These would include simple measures such as minimising contact with other birds, maintaining coop cleanliness, and identifying and culling infected birds. All chickens are not equal in this sense either. Skui, Sampof and Kragnes, the local Cambodian breeds of chicken, naturally have a higher resistance to disease than the Western broilers. They also fetch a higher price at market and are in higher demand due to the superior taste and texture of the meat. Chickens, like all other animals, need variety in their diet. They need nutrients and carbohydrates, and protein is particularly important for egg-laying hens, since it can dramatically increase the number of eggs they lay. These things are all available in ready-made chicken feed, but they are much too expensive for many people. So instead, we will teach villagers which crops they can grow themselves to supplement their flock's diet. Corn is a good option as it is easy to grow and is often the base ingredient in commercial poultry pellets. Cassava is also good as both the roots and leaves are edible for chickens. The roots are a starchy source of carbohydrate, while the leaves, once dried, contain up to 20% protein. Finally, we will be teaching families how to build a coop which creates a comfortable environment for their flock. A successful coop protects the chickens from predators and diseases while also maintaining a good environment for nesting. There are a lot of advantages to raising chickens as a source of food and income. It can be done by almost anyone, including women with young children, and it does not require a huge amount of space or land. The output costs are low, and with education, small changes in farming practices can lead to a huge improvement in flock size and egg output. We hope to empower Cambodians to use poultry to diversify their diets, improve their health, and fight malnutrition, particularly in children. We hope to give children a better chance at a successful future by supporting their health and their family.